What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 10 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded, I keep looking at Gorok, Tiktaq'to, for the love of... Immortal Empires Expanded campaign. Great start today. So as we saw last time, Gorok in a glorious battle took the Awakening and crippled the Awakened faction. We still haven't seen the Luther Harkin, and I still don't know where he is. The Sunken Island of the Gods here is Chaos Corrupted, so I imagine he's not here, but just in case we'll send a scout to check it out, and otherwise just, I guess, try to find him. I'm not sure. There might be an island somewhere in this fog as well, since there is one here. Maybe he's there? I'm not entirely sure. We're just gonna have to scout it out and... yeah, anyway. Gorok was able to beat the enemy with the turtles that are going to make up part of his army, which are pretty neat, and I'm excited to try the gunner variant once we get it. For now, though, frankly, we have lots of things to do this turn. It's sort of a new turn, and actually at the end of last episode there was a bunch of stuff I wanted to get to, but we didn't have time, so I wrote it down on my little post-it notes that I stick to my monitor, and just to try to remember what I have to do. So first of all, I have a mage for Gorok, meaning we do need to get him one. He doesn't have a temple of the type that will let him recruit a skink mage here, so maybe we just recruit him and just sail it over. This will allow us to scout some of the fog here at the same time, so there's a benefit to it. We'll grab the enlightened one of beasts, like so, because, well, Gorok is going to be a pretty tanky army, and, well, the beast lore will make it even tankier, more so than the lore of the heavens at any rate. Alright, the second thing is, oh right, we need to do our next expedition. Oh wow, -8, okay, iffy. We still need to do our next expedition though, so military convoy, and that's you, Chitin Convoy. Do you have any levels? You do not. Oh, you have a Sacred Croxagore. I think that's our only one. Let's give you a name. Let's see, what do we have for Sacred Croxagores? Colossus of Illustria. There we go. Lovely. Another nice thing about the expedition, all these little elite units are one of the very nice things. And you have a bunch of regular Croxagores, don't you, unless I'm mistaken? Yeah, you have 3 of them. We have Croc Block, and let's have you joined by Jaws of Victory. And okay, I'm already getting distracted by this. Let's get that convoy up and running. Chitin Convoy, add master. And I believe we have 2 more to go in order to unlock whatever this is, the big old, by the looks of a T-Rex type deal. Alrighty, so we have Montanas here with these guys, all tier 3. So would we never acquire any tier 1s? Let's try this one, see what it gives us. Montanas it is, and we're going to... Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. I didn't mean to do that. Montanas, and like so, with 6 specimens. Dispatch. Alrighty, good luck. And then the only one that's left will be the Lost Plateau. Oh, the closest one to us other than the Great Desert of Araby, go figure. And funnily enough, it has a tier 5 bird, but, you know, it'll be a while there. Ooh, Dilophoraptors. Interesting. Alrighty, anyway, we'll deal with those later. For now, go for egg collection. We still have to do egg collection 2 more times before heading on to herd extraction, so we'll do egg collection first. I don't imagine the other thing counts both types, so yeah. Alrighty, that was the expedition. Next, we want to go after Lakshi World Eater. So, what we're going to do is this. Tic-Tac, you're going to move all the way out here. Mr. Tech Thief, you're going to move all the way out here. And then you are going to... Well, actually, you shouldn't need to move because it depends on how this works out. Alrighty, so you stay there. Let's actually move everybody else. There's reasons for this. We have the Right of Tsunki available to us, so we can still get the additional movement range, so we should make use of it as it's off cooldown now. You're going to head to Dawn's Light, you're going to capture it, and hopefully we can trade it to the elves for money. On a resolve. And a free Executioner's Axe. Alrighty, and then we captured it. You can hold on to that for now. Actually, no, you can't because it causes desyncs. This is better on range units to use the Sundering application, but not being close enough to actually execute enemies. Yeah, Dawn's Light, just out of curiosity. Actually, you can collect the money. Out of curiosity, how much is this worth to you? Pretty solid. 4.7k, and that's all the money you have. Granted, it'll make Teclis poorer, but I don't care. You get out of Dawn's Light now, and then we'll immediately trade it to Teclis. Don's Light. Oh, we could always do this as well. There we go. Wait, do we actually want a military alliance with Teclis? I mean, he's not going to get into a war with the other lizards. They're very friendly. I don't think he's going to fight Cetra, and I don't think he's going to fight the Wood Elves. As soon as we're done with the Chaos Horses out here, frankly, yeah, you know what? Fine, screw military alliance. Don't screw me on this, Teclis. If he screws us, I'm going to kill him, because he screwed me over in a previous campaign, and I'm still holding a grudge for it, so yeah. Don't make me regret this, Teclis, you little elf. Anyway, Quetgar, you are stuck where you... Actually, no, wait. We have two things to do. First of all, you needed to build things here, and namely, we need the scrying pool to unlock the technology that's applied with it, and then delete it afterwards, obviously. And... minus 2.5k. Okay, we'll start by building a Krogscore Labor District and the Floating Gardens, but we might delete or cancel one of them, depending on what our money looks like at the end of the turn. You will also have to head down southward to Uatek, and then build whatever needs to be built there before we go back to Sentry Glades and deal with that. It's a whole thing. Alright, come on down. Like so. Alright, anybody else? We still have the Tech Thief, and then Digga and Mazdakonqua. Okay, so Tech Thief, I would like you to start moving this way. And towards Grotrolex's Lighthouse. You're going to save the money by not... Actually, can you Steel Tech this turn? Guess we're about to find out. Ah, you did reach it. Alright, fine, fair enough. Then Steel Tech, and yeah, just gotta be careful about bankrupting ourselves. That's good. Then, Digga. You are saving money. I assume you are going to land here, meaning maybe we start marching you. We're going to suffer a little bit of attrition. How much money does this cost us? About 300 gold per turn. It might still be worth it, though. Alright, screw it. Go this... Well, actually, you know what? Never mind. Stay... Well, actually, no. Stay... I don't want to waste the extra movement range. Go here. I think it'll work. Like so, and I believe that's it other than Mazdakonqua, who cannot and should not move. Alright, then we pop off the right of Tsunki to give ourselves the movement range back. And, okay, so you Tic-Tac should now be able to reach Lakshi World Eater, and if you can't actually catch him, we'll have Mr. Mazdakonqua do it. Do we need to fight this? I mean, it's mostly basic Ungors. It's kind of a waste of our time, isn't it? Alright, fine. Go kill Lakshi. Although, what's the other... I'm just thinking, what's the likelihood that we get to fight Beastmen anytime soon again? That's the other thing. Yeah. We fight it just because of that. Alright, let's see what the auto-resolve says about this. Declare war. Don't bother. Alright, he's gonna run for obvious reasons. But I expect he can't run far enough, especially with the movement range that Tic-Tac has, generally speaking. You can still reinforce, and then Tic-Tac, you can still chase him now. Fantastic. Alright, what's this? Yeah, it's decisive victory, casualties low. I know it's a full stag, but, you know, it's like 10 times weaker than the Slaneshi stacks we fought, and also mostly no anti-air. And on top of that, it's mostly Ungors, so yeah, just auto-resolve it. Alrighty, and of course it'll still do severe damage to us, but, you know, we're used to that by now. And Ritual Purification. Like so, and I assume you will have enough movement range to get back into the Castle of Splendor. Beautiful. Free Potion of Farsight as well. Not on you. Actually, wait, ooh, and a Scepter of Stability, and Word of the One Eye Destroyed. Disappointing that it's not Kazrak himself, but again, whatever. You stay down here, I have an idea about you. Alrighty, then... You will heal up, don't head into the water, and then you're going to grab a few islands, including the Skull Island, on the way to Selkor's Maw. You are going to Steel Tech here. We are still very much on the way to Ind and then Koresh. Alright, and success. Good. Oh, this is basically free territory once we actually land here. Ooh, another island. Yes. We need the money. Alrighty, so that's good. Tic-Tac, do we need to do anything with you? Do we need to swap out the mage? Not yet. Oh, wait, actually, I just had an idea. This Skink Chief, you can have the Potion of Farsight for the additional range, and then there was something else. I swear there was something else that gave you additional range. Am I crazy? Or of Quetzal, Channeling Staff, Ranger's Quiver, currently held by Itsy Bitsy. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll give this to you as well. You're wondering why I'm doing this. Oh, it has to replace that thing anyway. Oh, well, whatever, I don't care. And then Itsy Bitsy has this. Nah, just hold on to it for now. Anyway, because this guy's going to be on a dino and hidden, but in case we want to use him as artillery support, we can do so with a little bit of extra range, maybe getting some just generally range buffing items. Anyway, Ezozyme, you are now going to... Okay, so what I want to do is this. You can land only here, right? I was hoping that what he could do is land immediately upon Digga and then immediately trade units, but I fear he's going to be just out of range. Just slightly out of range. But I guess we'll see in a second. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. They're right beside each other too, but oh well. What can you do? Alright, we'll suffer one turn of attrition and Digga's already in the right stance. Although, frankly, these troops are actually mostly Ezozyme's troops, so that's going to have to be, you know, altered a little bit, but whatever. Alrighty, Quetgar. I'll deal with you in a second. Washti and Gorok. So, Gorok, are you able to reach Talash? No. Is Washti able to reach it? Unfortunately not. Darn. Oh, well. I would like you to proceed to this island, and we'll see if it's full of, Oh, okay. Well, regardless of the fact that it's full of Chaos Dwarfs, I think we're going to have to go up here with Gorok anyway. There's 3 islands. I mean, we can't say no to that. That's potentially at least a big chunk of change, so... It is unfortunate that that does mean that we know that What's-His-Face isn't out here. Where the heck is his last territory? Well, it is what it is. Anyway, so I would like you, Gorok, to go into an encamp stance, go to the edge of this territory. Washti, you will go there as well. And then you will lead... Oh, maybe I should have had you heal these guys, but whatever. You will lead the rest of the army to Talash afterwards. Okie dokie. Next. Okay, Quetgar, I may or may not move. You will see in a bit. Mazda Conquest, you're fine as you are now. Even get a little bit closer to non-place movement. Like so. Yeah, don't do that. Alrighty, next up we have the other Tech Thief, which has moved all the way to Grotrolex's Glare, and then you can keep moving further until you find Ashiotla. Can you steal tech from here? Let's find out. Looks like you're just out of range, but that's okay. Alrighty, and then as Latota, you are going to move through the foggy territory. Fortunately, you have a decent amount of campaign line of sight. And then you're going to go and join Gorok. Alright, I don't see any other islands up here. Let's see, where the heck is he? 3 settlements. Interesting. It's not down here. I swear, it's an island that's probably on this map somewhere, and I just don't know where it is because I'm not familiar with all the islands as yet. It's clearly not one of these the Zarmuda Triangle Islands. It's probably, yeah, it's not one of these. Oh, there it is. I found it. Oh, and he's at war with Cetra. Oh, this is where Luther Harkin went. He declared war on Cetra and... Well, you know what? Maybe we'll rely on Cetra. I'm so glad I looked over here. Yeah, okay. I wasn't expecting him to be over there. Also, that means we didn't actually need to scout this, but at the same time, the fact that there was a bunch of islands there, that was kind of beneficial, so we did it anyway. Alright, I believe that's the only thing we have to do this turn, other than potentially building whatever we were going to be building at Uatek, which is probably the old one monument. Yeah, go for it. And the plus 15% income from all buildings in this province will be valuable for the floating, or for the gem cutter's workshop and the port. Both of which will generate okay amounts of cash. Alrighty, it looks like that's good. So we will skip, and end the turn now. And we, in theory, should not go bankrupt. Alright, and I hope I didn't forget anything. That's all I had on my post-it notes list from the end of the last episode. Alright, Awaken probably want peace, but that's obviously not happening, much as I'd love to take the 3,000 gold. Although, funnily enough, once we take their presence out of Lustria, maybe we peace out with them and just let them... well, not fight us, but fight Cetra instead. Keeping Cetra relatively busy and relatively weak might actually work in our favor, so... you know, I'll leave him alone for now. Alright, it looks like no further attacks on us immediately. We have... wait, another trait? Do you not already have one? Interesting. We have melee defense +5 for all units. Ooh, that's nice. Missile resistance for all units. Armor +10. Saurus without buffs are relatively light in armor. +10 armor on the skinks isn't insane considering they have barely any armor in the first place. I'm gonna say the 5% melee defense is probably the more valuable. Physical resistance is nice as well. Frankly, these are all about equivalent, with the impenetrable scales probably being the slightly worse one. I'm gonna say melee defense, generally speaking. The longer these guys can hold the line, the better. Flexible scales. Alrighty. Very nice. And you just keep on doing whatever it is you're doing. Alright, starting from the top once again. So Isozyme, you are going to switch into, well actually no, transfer units first. And, alright, so we have too many units. Okay, we don't need the skink skirmishers. Frankly, I could have deleted those, whatever. Skink priest is yours, so you can keep them. I don't know why I didn't put you into camp stance. Okay, wait, you know what? Let's cancel this. Put you in camp stance. I think it was to save the movement. Alright, so we're taking all of this. Digga will have his own force, obviously. And then that gives us 2 more units, which means the skink skirmishers are out, and yeah, these guys will be separated and sent to different armies, like so. Alrighty, you guys go here. Digga, I'm afraid that I think... Well, you know what, you can leech XP, it's just that you're ludicrously expensive for what you are. At least right now. We don't actually need you to lead the army. Most likely, we'll probably just delete all of these guys, but we'll keep it for the assault on Demon's Gate, and then we'll figure it out afterwards. Will you be able to march stance afterwards? Maybe, maybe not. And then, yeah, this army will split off into 2 armies in a little bit once we can afford them. Now, Tic-Tac, you're not fully healed up, unfortunately, but it is what it is. This is a shipwreck, which means fight, so I believe you're heading out to sea. Like so. And then go to the shipwreck. Mazda Conquest, you're actually staying here. There's a thing that you have to do. And that's get Tic-Tac his last Fire Leech Bola, and then transfer out the other 2 Fire Leech Bolas. This is gonna hurt, isn't it? This is gonna hurt badly, isn't it? Let's find out. Auto-resolve? Yep. Okay, auto-resolve. Iffy. Alright, well, release captives. I really don't want to go land and heal for a turn. Although, if next turn we get the spawning sequence, maybe that will be valuable, or at least more valuable. Oh! And you're gonna suffer attrition too. You know what? Yeah, I think you'll take the turn to land. It's okay. Turns spent... Ooh, 8,000 gold. Turns spent on, you know, getting towards expeditions is just fine. You are gonna keep upgrading that Grand Plaza. And... yeah, you are still in construction cost reduction. We got the scrying pool, and the reason that I wanted scrying pool was this. The sequence of scrying, which gives us a +2 all hero capacity and hero success chance, both of which we desperately need. Frankly, at 10,000 gold, it might still be worth getting if we have enough money left over at the end of the turn. So let's keep you there for a bit, and let's find out if we do. Washti, you're going to lead the charge against Talash, and Gorak will follow, so that he retains his movement range. And then, you know, goes back through the port and then towards those islands. Gorak, go right here to the edge of this. And then you can oh, if you join Gorak, it'll probably kill your movement range. Guess we'll just ignore that for now. You take this auto-resolve. Yeah, so not significant damage to Gorak's army, at least, and then Occupy, which will max out this territory unless I'm mistaken. Yes, indeed. And we'll start with the alignment of order for the bonus control. Cold One, Pterodon, Jungle of Webs secured, and then Gorak in March stance will still suffer attrition with high Vampire Corruption. It actually might not be that high next turn, huh? You know what? Go here. We'll see. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, it depends. You go here, let's see if we have any ancillaries that will reduce the corruption even further. We haven't had a lot of ancillaries, but we might. Let's see. Rat spawn sacrifices for fighting rats. Prize hunters are great, but not what we're looking for here. Hibernation attendants. Yeah, we have nothing that's anti-corruption. Alright, I gotta remember to put that Zode servant on somebody. Really, we have not a single one that's anti-corruption? Considering that we have to deal with a lot of corruption. Surprises me, but all good. Anyway, keep the skink skirmishers, I guess? You know what, frankly, I'm not super willing to pay 300 gold per turn for them right now, so maybe we just take them out of this army. It's not like they're going to go into Goroks. It's not worth the cost. We could always, you know, recruit them pretty cheaply whenever we damn well please. Mazda Conquest, you're fine as you are. Okay, tech thieves. You still need to be thieving that tech, so move slightly more this way, but then steal tech from here. Lovely. And hopefully we can get another tech thief up and running. Well, technically we're training up another tech thief in Tiktaq'to's army, but, you know, working on it. And you... Did you identify a Shiotla? You should have at this point, yes. Alright, how are they for confederating? Not quite there yet. Not even close, to be honest, but, well, we'll see. Anyway, we'll ignore that then. Wardens of the Living Pools and Cult of Sotek. You want a defensive alliance. Again, I'm not so sure that we care enough about doing that right now. Ghosts of Pawash, you are willing to go for the trade agreement and the military access and the non-aggression pact and give us your money to become weaker and hopefully confederate. Alrighty, and then Wood Elves... Oh, right, from the expeditions. Carcassonne, are you, out of curiosity, in contact with Bordelot Errant? They are not. Okay, that's good, because we're probably going to have to kill the Bordelot Errant, so yeah. We'll leave Carcassonne alone for now. And they're far away from us after all. Alrighty, it looks like we do indeed have enough money to get the sequence of scrying, although, you know what, let's just finish sequence of laborers. Just because we're almost done it anyway. Alright, and then the other tech thief... did I not move you all the way to... Oh, right, I didn't actually steal the tech. Alright, go here. Alright, there we go, and another level up, which is great. You can go for, I'm going to say the... I believe it was this one, the Minor Blessing of Tlaqua for the wound recovery. There's nothing else that gives us any kind of benefit, right? Nothing faction-wide? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so, yeah. And you were the second last. The Latata still needs to move, and you're headed towards Gorok. And I guess we don't need to look for other islands out here, so we're good. Well, I mean... money islands like this, yes. Islands like this place, not so much. I still feel like heroes should be given the ability to grab islands like this, like islands that have no battle chance. It would be nice for them to be able to gather those for you, as in the player, but anyway. Western Jungles, Tlaqua, yes, we will eventually want to upgrade the Geomantic Spire, but, you know, horrifically expensive right now. Quetzal was the place that we wanted to upgrade, so I think we will indeed invest in it right now. Expensive though it may be. Plus 20% post-battle loot faction-wide is really quite nice. We will want to at least start building these skink favelas and barrios here to, you know, get some benefit out of those. Though, I guess we'll want to actually start with the old one monument here because, you know, public order. Must needs and all that. Alright, this place we... well, we don't want to over-invest. But at the same time, it should be okay. So let's start with the old one. Wait. I'm a little bit concerned about the public order here. You know what? Let's hold off on doing anything crazy here. The Abyssal Glacier, I'd love to invest in, but it's a little bit on the expensive side right now. And the Red Territories, let's face it, we don't really care that much about right now, so we'll ignore this. The Last Valley in Cibiton, I'd love to upgrade you, but we want to save 10k for next turn, so we'll leave you as you are. Alright, skip, 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 and then turn now. That should give us just enough money, or not money, the spawning sequence in order to spawn another Pterodon Rider with Fire Leech Bolas. We will not join your... Oh, huh, they declared war on the Ironbrows. Good for them. Kind of impressed whenever the elves actually do something. Oh, and unless I'm mistaken, I just saw Cetra take the territory at the coast of Araby, Kofur, yes, meaning that the Vampire Coast is pretty much done. We're certainly not giving them time to recover. Unless we go after those islands, in which case we might give them time to recover. Shut up! Take advantage. What else destroyed? Income from cities, a little bit of extra money per turn. Others search for the Nemesis Crown, good for others. Now, we need to spend 10k, but we don't have it right now. Tic-Tac, I'm going to need you. Okay, so Mazda Conquest, go here. Like this. Tic-Tac, I'm going to need you to land at the Castle of Splendor. And then heal up for a turn, and then I guess the other... Well, the Skull Island we won't auto-resolve just because we'll be further away from our own territory, but... okay, there you go. You can heal up to a decent degree here, and then go back out to sea once more. And we will trade these 2 Pterodon Riders away, and then... I should double-check the Skink Priests. What do we have here? Another Sky Master. Please, would you give us an Enlightened one? Come on, man. Why is Enlightenment so difficult? Anyway, you're not able to march stance all the way to Fade Weaver's Crevasse? Yeah, no dice. Alright, fine. Just move. And then Digga, you follow. Lovely. Quetgar, you are... Well, you can invest in this. We don't have 10k to spend right now unless we can get it some other way. Which, admittedly, we might want to attempt. Gorok. You can go all the way out to this shipwreck, or at least close to it. You are not at full HP, which probably means you won't be able to fight them all, though. Maybe I should have healed you after all. I guess it depends on what the auto-resolve says about this. We could risk it. A shame to have let all the... Yeah, you're still suffering attrition, yeah. The darn vampire corruption didn't drop fast enough. I think we have to heal to full, which is a bit of a shame. But all good. Not much we could do about it. And then you can't really reinforce this. I actually would like you to go to the Awakening. Or just generally southward. Ah, Luther Harkin's back. Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll sail down to him instead then. So you know what? This actually works. You go to the Awakening then. We'll go after the islands afterwards. And then Washti will come down here. And we'll chase down Luther Harkin and destroy him. And then probably we'll be able to go grab the islands and then come back, and by the time we come back, 10 turns will have run out and we'll be able to redeclare war upon Clan Ricket, or whatever clan is there. Clan Spittle, actually. Anyway, Quetgar is fine. We are plus 6 gold per turn. As the Conquest, you're fine. Tick Thieves. Still need to be thieving. Can't be not thieving. Alright, and you are rank 12 now, which is fine. Let's get your wound, I guess. Oh! You could get your cleanse corruption buffs, but you know what, just in case other agents start coming after you, maybe it's still worthwhile to have the, to have that steel tech as well. Lovely. And then, as the Tata, you can move as well. Hey, and you'll actually be able to meet up with Gorok and then, you know, share some levels, which is also nice. Now, this King Chief isn't supposed to be in here anyway, so that, that works for me. Frankly, neither is a skink cohort, but whatever. And then hopefully we can get the... Oh, unless this guy starts fighting Clan Spittle. No, they seem to be okay. Good. Alright. Well, we can't spend if we want to get that 10k money on anything. I mean, we could, but there's probably nothing critical here, right? Admittedly, we do want to upgrade these, though. You know, let's at least start on the Poxmarsh. We'll get money when we get the Skull Island eventually, so we may as well start growing the cash a little bit. And then we do need the additional Old One monument here. Without the public order, this place is going to be all screwy and all that, so... Yeah, and frankly, the same thing is kind of true of Demonium Hills. It's not like Tiktaq'to will be there for very long, so yeah, fine, build the Old One's monuments. There we go. There goes our cash. Alright, that's another end turn unless I'm mistaken. Keeping those expeditions going. Keep on checking the confederations, and then the turn. And before we move, we'll summon another fire unit. Hanoan. Defensive lines, no. Although we might do it just before confederating him. Because he should still give us the money for it. Slightly silly, though it may be. Alright, let's see what kind of dilemma we're looking at this time around. Always exciting. Oh, I wonder if you encounter different factions in these different places. Install the rope bridges. Alright, yeah, we can spend a little bit of time. Alright, confederation between the Eastern River Lords and the Northern Provinces. Does that mean... Temple Architect construction costs... Ooh, yes, okay, wait. Ooh, Skullcarver's Abode, unusual location. What do we have here? It is a disgusting Skaven thing. It's going to cost us 3,000 gold to get rid of it. Well, yeah, if the lizards are obviously... well, actually, I'd love 50 research rate, but, you know, the lizards would absolutely burn this down without a second thought. Destroy location. There goes all of our 10k. But what can you do? Alright, well, Quedgar, I guess you're not building anything here. And admittedly, I mean, we can't delete this until we... I guess we might as well stay here until we can upgrade Tlaqua to tier 5. It's going to be expensive. I was going to reset him and send him to Lustria, but anyway. Tic-Tac. Alright, so here's what I would like you to do. I actually wanted to get you a couple of those Piriaras as well, but what's the cost on getting them in your army? If I can find them in here. Wish this thing was organized by tier, because it's kind of difficult to find units that you want. Okay, you know what? Maybe it's easier to do that. Wait, I have an idea. If we could get money from somebody. Deserters of Katep? No. Northern provinces? Yes. Do this. Thank you. And anybody else? So we've got Carcassonne, yeah, but they're not really willing to give us enough money for us to get any use out of it, really. Alright, so that should have given us sufficient cash. So what I would like you now to do is see, okay, it's 1,300 to grab a couple of the weak little Pirayaras, which I would love to do, but yeah. Maybe we can still do one. Alright, so you take from Tic-Tac these 2 Pterodon Riders with Fire Leech Bolas. Tic-Tac, you are going to grab or hatch eggs. Now, you are going to grab the Blessed Spawning Fire Leech Bola, like so. And then the Fire Leech Bola is immediately going to get the other blessing, which is the Blessing of Sotek for the lethal poison. Like so. Now we have 2 that cause bleed and 2 that cause lethal poison for stacking damage over time. Too bad we don't have lethal toxin on anybody here, but you know, this will still work out nicely for us. The other thing that we wanted to do, I guess, was to grab the Piriara. And then the other Piriara will replace either... Well, it'll replace Lord Croak once he's ready to go to his own army, but for now he's leveling us nicely, and, you know, I'm disinclined to say no to that. Anyway, so yeah, grab Piriara. There we go. And then Tic-Tac, leave the place, and go to the next island, like so. Alright, and then you, Mazda Conqua, you are free to either set sail... Well, I guess we can avoid most of the attrition by setting sail, so we'll do that. And then we'll travel all the way out here. Then I wanted to get Mr. Quetgar, that temple thing. Also, you should probably have a route marcher. Actually, you know what? No. At least not for now. Where were we? Oh, Temple Architect can only go on Skink Oracle and Skink Priest. Well, that's not very helpful. Screw you too, game. Okay, never mind on that then. Alright, Ezozyme and Co. You should now be able to reach... Fate Weaver's Crevasse, and then Digga you can just keep following. Attrition, unfortunately, still annoying due to the Chaos Wastes, but, you know, it is what it is. Just gonna have to deal with it. And then we've got Washti and Gorok. So Gorok, you are now heading out to destroy Luther Harkin for good. Luther Harkin. Actually. We can't land immediately? Well, that's unfortunate. Well, it is what it is. You go out here. Well, actually, wait. What's the defenses at the Awakening look like? Yeah, they're still okay. I assume we can actually land here. I guess we'll find out next turn. We'll see. You guys stick together, and then... Alright, you can take from Gorok. You know what? I don't remember which skink chief it is. It was this one. Leave. And then you... He didn't leave. That's so rude. Alright, go like this, and then like this. And then you can go into Gorok's army. And now Gorok has a mage. Fantabulous. Alrighty, and I believe the tech thieves still need to move. Ooh, is that going to take us to bankruptcy or no? Find out. No, it looks like we'll be good. I hope. Unless the costs increase over the end turn. You know, let's not risk moving the other tech thief. I'm a little bit concerned. Yeah. This way we shouldn't, in theory, get bankrupted. Alright, let's end the turn and find out for sure. Gotta get to that Skull Island. Desperately in need of it. Maybe I should just... Yeah, I probably should have just deleted Digga over the last 3 turns, just so that, you know, again, he's costing us 700 gold per turn. Cetra, you want a defensive alliance. By the looks of it, you're going to have the full desert soon. I would do it if it wasn't for the fact that you and the lizards aren't super friendly, so I'm going to ignore that for now. Frankly, if he defeats Croc Gar's army, it would be an easy way to confederate Crocky, so, you know, not the worst thing in the world either. Alright, looks like no attacks, although I guess we weren't expecting too many. Let's see, what do we have here? The right kind of warrior. Rumors reach you of forces loyal to your ancient enemy, the Ruinous ones. Those are my favorite ones, obtaining a vile, corrupted foothold on Lustrian soil. However, you have recently instituted a new spawning program, resulting in many new Lizardmen of the wrong caste. Will you send your depleted armies out or institute a fresh spawning of deadly Saurus? Recruit rank +1 versus strike now. I mean, I was going to recruit some Saurus, but we can't afford them right now anyway, so we might as well strike now with the corruption reduction. And let's see. Oh! We got, as a reward, a ton of these Omicanth guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is pretty nice. And they're tier 3. Pretty heavily armored and lots of HP on them. Alright, exciting times. Second front, recruit an additional lord. I'd love to, eventually. Once we have the cash. Alrighty. This is a mysterious island, so you're free to grab it and then move on. And this will, well, maybe give us money. We'll see. And go for a mushroom stew. That'll make these fights a little bit easier. You're not actually suffering attrition. The game is lying. We just need the money to make sure that it no longer does that. In fact, wait, can we... Well, okay, I guess we can't do it right now. You're gonna go this way, and Digga, once again. I wanted you to leech the XP from these fights. Can we get money from having Gorog deal with this? Okay, so Luther Harkin will reinforce. I would like Washti to land here as well. Wait, can you do it in non-march stance? Yes, you can. Alright, Gorog. Let's level the... Mage. Okay, it's only Wiston's wild form, which isn't much. And I don't really care about the skink chiefs. Alright, I guess we got the last fight for these guys. Charge bonus we will give to... I guess these guys. Well, yeah, it's a percentage-based charge bonus, meaning we can give it to these guys. Alrighty. The last fight for Luther Harkin go. Alrighty, here we go. The last gasp of Luther Harkin. Last gasp being figurative because, you know, he doesn't breathe. But anyway, should be a decent fight here, though I do imagine that we are pretty favored to win. Anyway, it looks like Luther Harkin's going to come in as a reinforcement, but that means that the AI is waiting all the way back here where about half of their army is going to be blocked by the jungle. And that definitely works in our favor, as the tree line will protect at least some of our units from range fire, which is going to be pretty devastating potentially to those Pterodon riders and a few of our other units. Anyway, the battle begins as Luther Harkin makes his way onto the battlefield. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't have his mount yet, and on foot, he's got no chance whatsoever in terms of dealing with Gorok one-on-one. Or at the very least, I imagine he outdamages Gorok in a direct fight, but he will never outlast Gorok. Slanesh giggle. And thus, yeah, it's gonna be a bad time. Anyway, as usual, we advance with the turtles in front of the Saurus, so that the turtles can absorb as much fire as possible. Saurus are great, they're shielded, but they are low in armor, and, what is it, 40 armor or so? 46 now, with a little bit of buffs, but yeah, certainly not enough. Alright. And the battle begins as the Saurus make their way forward, engaging some Rotting Prometheans. Kind of an interesting matchup, Rotting Prometheans versus Turtles, as it's basically an equivalent unit, except, you know, ours is living and all that. Otherwise, we got a few more units making their way forward. We've been waiting until we engaged with the Summoned Ripperdactyls and with some of the Saurus to send in the Pterodon Riders with Fire Leech Bolas, as well as the Chameleon Stalkers. And just because both of these units are quite fragile, we didn't want them to get beat up. Gorok is making his way through the battle line, knocking a few zombies aside, and then heading directly towards Luther Harkin. Oh, wow. But Gorok makes Luther Harkin look tiny by comparison, huh? Now, I didn't realize how big Gorok was. Is this just me? I thought he'd, for some reason I thought he'd be just like sort of regular Saurus size, but he's a big boy. Go figure. Well, Luther Harkin knows that this is probably a bad idea, trying to back away, firing off a few pistol shots, but dropping by about 30% of his HP, while Gorok has a loss maybe 5%. We've got a few of the enemy range units firing up into our Pterodon Riders with Fire Leech Bolas, but fortunately, those flyers of ours are going to hover overhead, drop their bombs, and make sure that most of the enemy range units are destroyed rather. Now, the turtles continue facing off against the rotting Prometheans, but actually I'd love to see this in a sort of one-on-one, like a maxed out unit of turtles versus a maxed out unit of rotting Prometheans, like not the gunnery mob variant, the two sort of super defensive low damage dealing units, just to see how long a duel between the two would take. I do imagine that the rotting Prometheans would actually win because the turtles don't actually really do damage at all. They're just kind of there to absorb hits. Like these ones, for example, have done, let me see, 10 kills and 1,700 damage compared to the Saurus that were with them that have got 130, 141, and 21,000 damage. So, yeah. Pretty big difference. And quite literally 10 times more. But again, we're using them to absorb hits. Anyway, the Archaeopteryx have now arrived after waiting for everybody to be engaged. Of course, the Archaeopteryx are quite vulnerable, fragile, etc. But they're quite nice. It's nice to have a proper sort of Warhound unit for the roster. Warhounds have always been very strong in the game, I guess, just generally speaking. Fragile, but high damage dealing and all that. And the same is true of the Archaeopteryx. And the nice thing about them is that they have the Stalk and Vanguard deployment, so... Fragile they may be, but they certainly have their purposes, built to run enemies down and to smash into enemy artillery crews and, let's say, more fragile elements of enemy range. Otherwise, it looks like Luther Harkin has reached his healing cap, but it ain't helping him much. He's just kind of sitting there, plinking away with his pistol shots. But not for much longer. Okay, Gorok whiffs that hit, and one more, and there we go. It looks like Luther Harkin and goes down. With him, the enemy army starts to suffer that big old morale shock, and everybody starts melting away. Luther really shouldn't have sort of joined in on the fun when we confederated Gorok, and they all decided to declare war upon us. Unfortunately for him, we decided to go after him first. He could have avoided all of that, because we would have ignored him until we had wiped out all the Skaven and possibly a few of the other factions. But since he decided on this, and he has a corruption that's rather annoying, we had to deal with him. Anyway, the last of the enemy units, a animated Hulk, melts away, and with that, the battle is ours. Certainly a little bit of damage on a few units, definitely the summoned Ripterdactyls, but a few of the Pterodon Riders are dropped from the sky by range fire, but certainly worth it. Alrighty, there we go. I think the Saurus advancing behind the lines of tanky turtles is quite nice and hopefully functional. The turtles didn't do all that much damage, but that's not what they're here for. Alrighty, beautiful. Luther Harkin survived. Oh! He was outside the settlement? Oh, whoops, I thought that he was in the settlement. Oh, whatever. Either way, this is his last settlement, so it shouldn't matter over much. Occupy. Funnily enough, if I had realized that, I wouldn't have landed this fella. Because then we could have gotten the trait on him as well. In fact, maybe if Harkin moves here... maybe we can get the trait on Washti instead. I was hoping he could go into the Fuming Serpent, though it doesn't look like he can. And if he can't, then, well, there's not much we can do about it. Luther, I suppose, could also run, because he should have a access to ship, so... we'll see. Ooh, Pigeon Pluck Pendant. Nice. Nice. That will come in handy. Pterodon for somebody, and a short victory achieved. What did we do to get short victory again? Western jungles and central jungles. Oh, those we've had for a while. I guess we were just short on looting, raising, sacking, etc. Well, the hero capacity is nice, the control is nice, everything is nice. What do we get for long victory? Allegiance points, Diplo, and campaign movement range, which is also nice. Alright, not that we care about these particular objectives. The mod effectively introduces its own objectives with all the beasties that we got to unlock, especially the big boys, so, you know. Alright, well, Gorok sit there. You know what, actually, it's probably worth it to maybe risk the money loss by sitting outside the settlement. Who knows? Maybe Washti will get the defeat rate. Alright, looking good to me. Quetgar, you can't spend any money because we don't have it. Mazda Conquest, you will have to keep on moving. Maybe land at Volol tracks to transfer things to these guys. Or just go by sea and then transfer them over there. I will consider it. Tech thieves. I'd love to steal some tech, but again, I think we have to save the cash, unfortunate though it may be, and then Digga keep moving. And we may need you for Demon's Gate, which, admittedly, that's a lot of 6 units of Chaos Spawn, 3 units of Flamers. Definitely going to be tough for these armies. Yeah, and that's assuming that they don't have a full stack up and running by the time that we're there, unless they might even have one at Grouchlix's Lighthouse, what do we know? Alright, well, I guess that's another end turn then, so we will wait. We have to dispatch the convoy. Ooh, you reached rank 10. Good for you. What do we get at rank 10? We can start moving through Unseen Protector. Ooh. But as much as I'd love to do that, I think we gotta get Pathweaver first. Yeah, it's only a 5% of double move, but, you know, faster moving is good. Go figure. And then we do have the ability to unlock the blue level of these things. Well, you know, it's probably better to unlock at least a couple of these things. I like the buffs for the skinks. Yeah. There's some good stuff there. Anyway, new convoy. Costly though it may be, we will add you. And then we will send you to the 7th and last expedition of the basic kind, yes. So we have not been here to Lost Plateau. Alright. And then as much money as you can handle. I'm glad I didn't steal tech, because otherwise we wouldn't have it. Egg collection. Alrighty, looks good to me. Let's see about getting those islands with our various lords, because we desperately need them. That'll hopefully give us enough money to sort of be able to invest in a few more buildings to make more money. Otherwise, we're effective. Well, we are running around with 3 armies now rather than 2, but it is still expensive, and those armies are primarily made out of extremely cheap units, and of course Tiktaq'to's own army is made up of units that are super cheap compared to what they normally would be. Torellosaur, we've come into contact with you. Good. Yeah, we'll do this. And this. We can be friends. As long as you don't take territories that we want, we don't care. Oh, looks good to me. And that'll, the trade agreement will also give us a little bit of extra cash. What do we have here? Another expedition trait. We have us by Tlaqua, immunity to psychology and buy our blood. Ooh, frenzy. We already have magic. The hunger for the entire army? Okay, yeah, we have Kroxagors with the hunger. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Blessed by Sotek, absolutely. Better than even Frenzy. Seafarer, blessed by Sotek, that's going to be a good army. And a free talisman of preservation as well. Construction reduction for the capitals, which will be needed soon, as we'll be getting our first tier 5 shortly. And some good stuff. Alrighty, Diplo check real quick. Anybody extra willing to trade? No. But the Sotek is moving closer and closer to being confederated, which is nice. Awakened really want peace, but that's not happening. Oh, and he didn't attack and destroy himself. I guess he is indeed trying to run. Oh, he's actually sailed out. Oh, now we have to follow him. Okay. Well, that's a question. Wait. He's going to move, I guess, towards Blood Swamps. Yeah, I fear that we might not be able to catch him easily. Well, it is what it is. Go out here. He is at sea, I believe. You stay at the Fuming Serpent? It's actually poorly defended. I wouldn't want you to die, but you very well could if he keeps erasing dead before attacking. Damn it! Okay, I see that this guy's gonna be annoying in this matter. Alright, you just follow. We'll see what he does. And who's he at war with, huh? If we peace out with him, just out of curiosity, he will move towards Cetra or Wardens of the Living Pools and give us 4,000 gold. Yeah, we'll give him one more turn. We'll see what he does next turn. If we can get the defeat trade on the other guy, I will do it. But if we can't, then we'll just peace out. I think that's the better thing to do there. Anyway, you have stand your ground, and I believe you were going through Fearless Leader. Guess we can increase the capacity of Skink Chiefs as well, but I think start off with Fearless Leader. There we go. Do we have... No level 10 as yet. So no need to level these guys, really. And you can hold the... Okay, first of all, Diadem of Power and Scepter of Stability. Both of you out. Cube of Darkness. Yeah, it's okay. Pigeon Plucker Pendant. Although this guy is a temporary unit in this particular army. Talisman of Preservation is going to replace the Aura of Quetzal for Tic-Tac. And I believe that's it for now. You... I'm going to go for that Skull Island. Yes, 20,000 gold. Raid the cove. Fight the battle. Alrighty, here we go. We got that Skull Island. Let's get that money. We're gonna lead the fight with Tiktaq'to himself, as he will absorb a decent bit of damage from the enemy on his scintillating shield slash barrier, and then the Air Force arrives, immediately dropping bombs on the enemy range units. We're going to allow the Ripperdactyls to sort of fly on through for a little bit, but we will be joining the summoned Ripperdactyls in melee rather soon. I just can't have let the regular Pterodon riders be distracted in terms of destroying the range units. So we'll give them a few seconds. Of course, we got bombs to drop as well. Once that ammo has been expended, then we're free to move on into melee. Now, in terms of the enemy range units, they're in pretty bad shape, and we do have a few big boys to contend with. The rotting Leviathans are extremely tanky, and they're going to take a few single entities of our own to destroy them. The two units of Coatl, led by Tiktaq'to, and the two Ripperdactyls, ancient Ripperdactyls, I should say, will drop down upon the first of the enemy rotting Leviathans, dropping it by about 40% of its HP. The enemy is wise to the plan, however, sending in the second Crabby Boy to help out, and the two will defend each other as the clash of the titans happens while the zombies attempt to do something. Not that they're having a particularly good day against all the Fire Leech Bolas. Alright, in the meantime, the regular Ripperdactyls have also closed the distance. Can't just let the range units do all the work. And yeah, we just really need to get a mage in this army that's high enough level to cast, well, assuming that we're using Lore of the Heavens, because we will, to cast Curse of the Midnight Wind. Frankly, to be perfectly honest, a lore of beasts would probably be better for a Ripperdactyl-centric army, just because you can give them Viscent's Wild Form and Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, as well as using Curse of Anrahir to debuff enemies. So that's a lot of sort of buff and debuff potential that the Lore of Beasts has that would allow the fragile Ripperdactyls to fight in melee more often, whereas the Lore of the Heavens is limited to the Curse of the Midnight Wind for that particular purpose, but that's alright. I mean, it would feel wrong to not have a Lore of the Heavens in Tiktaq'to's army, wouldn't it? So we'll just deal. Now, for those who remember it was just recently. Well, for those who've watched the Cetra campaign, we kind of did that with Cetra's, not Cetra, his own army, but the Carrion-focused army, where we were able to just debuff the enemy before sending the Carrion in, and allow that extraordinarily fragile unit to survive in the fight. Anyway, had to talk about something, because tactically this battle is pretty simple. Just drop down on the enemy below. And it looks like just a few enemy zombies remain. We brought down the big boys with our own single entities, and now just gotta pincushion the last of the zombos, which can do nothing about this. And just a little bit more, they're holding a lot of gold. Not entirely sure what the lizards actually need gold for, because I'm pretty sure lizards don't actually have any kind of currency. They just use the gold for lots and lots of decorations, but I suppose you can't build all their fancy structures and all their fancy armor and clothes and accents to things without all that gold. So yeah, you know what? Lizards do need a lot of gold. Fair enough. Alrighty, there we go. 2 units of Pterodactyls lost, but certainly worth it as we were able to land them and dish out some damage. Looks like the unnamed Ancient Pterodactyl did more damage than the named one this time around, so I think, well, we'll give it a name right now. Raptor Crew, I think, for the Spear Chuckers, as well as the Powash Sentinels, and by the looks of it, by a fairly wide margin, the Sunslingers win out for the Fire Liege Bolas. We could heal up to full, but we're not sufficiently damaged to probably worry about it, so I think we'd rather have the 3.2k. Take it. And there we go. 20k and a free Lich Bone Pennant. Ooh. We could power up the Riptide, for example. I think I like it. Make him do even more damage. And we already have that in this particular army. Isn't that lovely? Alright, and then you Ancient Pterodactyl, you can be Scourge of the Skies. Lovely. And we'll put some more Ancient Pterodactyls in another army at some point. Now we can do Tech Thievery. Tech Thief 1. And let's see, Tech Thief 2. Can't be not stealing tech after all. And neither of you failed. Good. And then you'll be even less likely to fail once we get the sequence of scrying. Should we do it right now? Yeah, screw it. It's 10k, but it's worth it because these guys, at least those above level 10, will have basically 100% chance to succeed every time, and I really like that. Alrighty, otherwise we're very close to running out of time here. Do we have another? Oh, we have 2 islands. Fell Cargo and Shipwreck. I wonder if both of them have a fight in them, because they'd be fights that I'd want to auto-resolve, but I might just... at least this one. Yeah, you know what? Here's what we'll do. And go right here. Go for the Shipwreck. We'll see if it's a fight. Yeah, it's a... okay, I'm gonna call the episode here then. I will do this little fight between the episodes. I would normally auto-resolve it, but it's kind of a waste of time fight, and it's just gonna be a super quick speed through. I just don't want to lose additional units so that we can go after the other one as well. So I'm going to call the episode here. Next time we'll spend a little bit of that cash, keep our expeditions going, and maybe unlock that big boy that we saw, as well as deal with Luther Harkin at last, and then pick up a few more islands and just keep doing stuff, generally speaking. Kind of hard to think as to what and where we're going without being able to, look at the map. But anyway, stay tuned for more Tic-Tac. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, as they will determine the length of the campaign and how, the upload schedule and all that. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.